Hi, I'm Daniel Gold, and welcome to a special episode of the Gold Standard Leadership Lab. By day, I'm a partner at a leading advisory firm where I draw upon my background as an attorney to help my clients succeed. This podcast, though, is my personal project, completely separate and apart from my day job, yet driven by the same passion that I bring to everything I do: teaching, mentoring, and sharing simple, impactful lessons that you can put into action. It is my hope that you'll walk away with practical takeaways to help you on your leadership journey. Thanks for being a part of this community, for joining me in the Leadership Lab. Let's get started. Consistency is the heartbeat of trust. A weekly episode is not about volume. It is about reliability. When people know that they can count on you, your consistency becomes a form of leadership currency that buys credibility and influence. Now, I said this is a special episode, and it is. This is the 24th Gold Standard Leadership Lab podcast. 24 episodes, 6 months straight, audio, then video, and always written form, not a single gap. This milestone is not about celebrating my output, though. It is about recognizing something very important, and that is what consistent leadership looks like in practice, and why showing up matters more than showing off. When I first started this, I started talking about something very important, which is that leadership development is a daily discipline. Amy Edmondson's pioneering research at Harvard Business School defines psychological safety as the belief that you can speak up without the risk of punishment or humiliation. Simon Sinek builds on this foundation, frequently discussing how leadership grows from small, repeatable actions that reinforce this safety for teams. When leaders demonstrate reliability, they build the foundation for trust that helps organizations to take risks and to innovate. We explored the cultural side of this in episode 22, what great leaders do that most bosses forget. That unpacked how steady communication, clear expectations, and consistent follow-through drive performance without creating a fear-based culture. The point was not soft leadership skills. It was competent leadership that scales across organizations. And the research backs this up. Gallup's 2025 State of the Global Workplace report shows that consistent leaders significantly boost employee engagement and productivity. Why? Well, this is because consistency creates a predictable work environment, which in turn fosters psychological safety, allowing teams to perform at their highest level. Now, another consistent thing that I have talked about over the last 24 episodes is that one truth really stands out the most. Leadership is not the same as management. Management handles systems, processes, and tasks. Leadership influences people, builds trust, and shapes an organization's culture. You do not need the letters VP. You do not need the title partner or principal after your name for you to lead effectively. John Maxwell, who is the guru of leadership, defines leadership really as influence. Nothing more, nothing less. And influence, well, that begins with how you show up, how you listen, and how you demonstrate care for your team, for your clients, and for other people's success. These leadership qualities can be developed at any level of an organization. It does not need the title. We explored this idea further in episode 16, why taking time off makes you a better leader. When leaders model healthy work-life balance, it is not a perk just for the senior leaders. It is a responsibility. And you know what? Teams mirror what leaders model. making consistent self-care a leadership imperative. We've talked a lot about my running in the last 24 episodes, and it's true what they say about how performance of an athlete reflects that of what we do as leaders, because athletes train with endless repetitions. If you're a musician, you know that you have to rehearse for hours before a single performance. If you're going to give a speech or a presentation, I know this personally, I will rehearse for hours upon hours just to get it right. The delivery, the speed, the pitch, the cadence. It's what I'm doing here for all of you, in a sense. Leadership development works very much the same way. It requires reps, continuous learning, steady course correction, and regular self-reflection. Harvard Business Review research shows that leaders who incorporate deliberate reflection into their routines will always outperform those who rely solely on natural talent. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Deliberate practice builds leadership skills, and repetition, well, it'll always build trust with teams. In episode 23, The Arrival Fallacy, we examined why reaching milestones does not automatically create meaning. Success without reflection can feel hollow, and the anecdote quite literally is daily leadership practice that aligns effort with purpose. Because when we treat each interaction as a vote for the leader we aspire to become, we change not only our results, we change ourselves. Great leaders cannot skip the foundational work. Leadership literally requires discipline. Leadership requires emotional intelligence and the resilience to keep showing up when you feel tired, when you feel uncertain, or even when you feel unrecognized. It is the quiet moments with strategy documents, team feedback, or professional development. That's not busy work. That's leadership work. Beyond discipline and consistency sits the core of transformational leadership. Brené Brown's research on vulnerability shows us that courage to show up authentically, even when we cannot control outcomes, creates the conditions for innovation and growth. Likewise, leadership emerges from gratitude, authenticity, and a genuine desire to improve outcomes for others. Better results happen for your team. And when that happens, you get better experiences with your clients. And when that happens, you have better environments that you've built for your organization. Over time, leadership becomes less about what you accomplish and more about who you become in the service of others. This is the thread that runs through the Gold Standard Leadership Lab. From the early pieces on the Golden Leadership Cycle to the more recent work on meeting and professional momentum. Leadership reinvention, organizational resilience, and team empowerment are not buzzwords that you will find. They're daily practices you repeat when no one is watching. As I reflect on these 24 episodes, one thing stands out clearly. As I've noted before, leadership is not a title. It is not a position. It is a practice of showing up consistently, learning continuously, caring genuinely, and putting in the repetitions that transform us, the people that we serve. Milestones are markers on the journey. They are not final destinations. The real victory is in the work itself, the conversations that matter, the insights that stick, the small improvements that compound over time. The path to leadership excellence is not that complicated. Just show up, be consistent, do the work, care about the outcomes, and then repeat. And here is to the next 24 episodes and the leadership lessons that they will bring. If this perspective on leadership consistency resonates with you, I invite you to continue this journey with me. If you haven't already, Subscribe to the Gold Standard Leadership blog for weekly insights and new podcasts and videos. And if you are so inclined to become a paid member to access exclusive benefits that will be coming to your inbox soon. Regardless, tune in for deeper conversations about leadership development. Leadership is not about a single breakthrough moment. It is about the consistent practices we maintain week after week that change us and create positive impact for those that we serve. And as always, remember, leadership isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Take this lesson, put it into action, and continue setting the gold standard in your own life and at work. See you all next time.